The Dallas Cowboys increased their winning streak to 5 games after defeating the New England Patriots in overtime. Quarterback Dak Prescott and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb led the way in a 35-29 victory in Foxborough yesterday. So the Cowboys are now 5-1 on the season. To break down that game and more highlights from Week 6, let's bring in Will Brinson. He is a senior NFL writer for CBS Sports. So, Will, we have another win for the Dallas Cowboys. It gives them a little bit of breathing room atop the NFC East. Does that mean that America's team is back after last year's disappointing showing?
Yeah, I think they are back. And by the way, I want to start, John, our former colleague, John Oliver, I guess. I want to start hashtag no Sunday night overtime. How about that? Can we get rid of Sunday night overtime? It's the worst. I'm too old for it now.
Are you
okay? Yeah.
Still rubbing the sleep out of your eyes.
The Cowboys, I was dead wrong about them this year. I thought we would see that defense continue to struggle. And I thought when you looked at that offense that Mike McCarthy ran at the beginning of last year, that at various points in time, even though they were putting up points and Dak was on pace for a historical number of passing yards, that they weren't necessarily this congruous offense that was operating intelligently. And now, this team is cooking. Dak looks so comfortable in what he's doing. He and Kellen Moore, his former coworker, by the way, are on the same page. And you're seeing just this a different vibe about this team. Dan Quinn is playing a ton of man coverage with this defense. They're flying all over the place. They're making plays. And the one thing that's going to hold them back, I can see. I can't see the future often. I can see the future on the Cowboys. This team is going to win that division easily. They're going to win one playoff game because they're just more talented than the other team. And then they're going to lose a crippling, brutal loss in the playoffs, second round of the playoffs, on a Mike McCarthy clock management situation. You could see it coming 100 miles away.
All right, so let's talk about the Cardinals. They seem to be flying high after crushing the Cleveland Browns. Their latest win takes them to 6-0 on the season. How dangerous is this team with Kyler Murray at the helm?
So dangerous that their coach and multiple players were missing because of COVID concerns, and they didn't skip a beat. They went into Cleveland, which is, the Browns are a really good team. The Browns are, I know they're 3-3, but their 3 losses are all right, these are not too terrible a loss, all 3 of them. And when you look at what Arizona did, particularly going into there in 20-plus mile-an-hour winds, again, no head coach, and just lit up Cleveland. And they did it in a way that was impressive on both sides of the ball. J.J. Watt playing, he's not playing like peak J.J. Watt, but he's playing like pretty good J.J. Watt. Kyler Murray continues to lean on his arm rather than his legs when making plays on offense, and that's a big step forward. We've seen this from other young quarterbacks, whether it's Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes in their respective rookie years, that they sort of had this mastery about them of their particular offense as they began to evolve into the peak player that they became that season. And Kyler Murray looks like he might be there. There's no question about it. Well, actually, there is a question about it because Dak Prescott would like a word, but Dak, Josh Allen, who's playing tonight, and then Kyler Murray are your 3 MVP candidates. This league is jam full of really talented, athletic young quarterbacks. It's fun to watch.
The Baltimore Ravens are soaring after they blew out the Los Angeles Chargers. Are they the team to beat in the AFC?
I don't know if the AFC, maybe the AFC North. The Bengals look pretty good too. They smoked the Lions on Sunday. Baltimore is a very good team. I will caution this when looking at that box score and that result. If you didn't see the game, the Chargers also a very good team. But if you think about it, and I didn't think about this before the week either, and I've been kicking myself all day yesterday for it. The Ravens are a bad matchup for the Chargers. The Chargers like to play this defensive shell where they drop back. They were missing some players as well, but they're not great against the run. And the one thing Baltimore does really well is pound the football, and they pounded the football against them. This is like a 2017 fantasy team come to life for the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. Le'Veon Bell scored a touchdown. Devontae Freeman, Latavius Murray. Those guys are in my same no overtime because we're too old range of in terms of your age demographics. And Baltimore just was able to run the ball down the Chargers' throats. And this was sort of like 2019 in terms of how Baltimore operates, because they make you so one-dimensional, and it makes it virtually impossible to come back because they throw you off your game, put you in an uncomfortable spot, and force you to come back via aggressive passing. And we saw the Chargers go for it on their own 30-yard line, on their own 19-yard line. And Brandon Staley, the regression to the mean came hard, it came fast on Sunday for the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right, let's talk about my New York Football Giants. They fell to 1-5 on the season after suffering a devastating loss to the Los Angeles Rams. Is it time to hit the reset button and clean some house? Because I can't figure out, what do you think the problem is, Will?
There's a lot of problems, lad. I mean, look, I don't want to call for anybody's job on national streaming news, but I mean, it's probably time for Dave Gettleman to go. And the biggest red flag of all in that game for me with Joe Judge, the head coach, is that look at this picture we're popping up. That's Daniel Jones. That's your theoretical franchise quarterback. He is being smashed, bashed, hit from all angles, under siege by the Rams defense. And it would be one thing if he was just had a bad day at the office and was clobbered by this defense. He was carted off 7 days ago with a concussion. He could not walk off the field on his own 7 days ago, and they had him in at the end of a 31-3 blowout, or whatever the score was. It was meaningless. It was pointless. There's no reason for Daniel Jones to be in there. That is, there were very few fireable offenses on the spot, but that's one of them for me. You cannot let, first of all, don't let a young man out there like that in that position, potentially suffer more injury. So if it's a franchise quarterback and you're being a business decision maker in football about it, definitely don't do it. I don't think that Dave Gettleman has done a good job building up this roster, and I don't know that Joe Judge is doing a good job executing the plan, even though he is definitely playing from behind because of the lack of talent on the roster.
Really good points, my friend, as always. We appreciate it.
Get some rest. Have a great day. Thanks.
Get some sleep.
I know, we're tired.
I know. Take a nap.
I will.